Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our representative lecturer, Dr. Muhammad Zulkifli bin Muhammad. Our group consists of 8 people from Group 6 in L1. Today, we will present about the sources of the Sharia Ijma. Ijma is an Arabic term referring to the consensus or agreement of Islamic scholars on a point of Islamic law. Sunni Muslims regard Ijma as the third fundamental source of Sharia law after the Quran and the Sunnah. Ijma also the result of ijtihad, which is an important role in setting a law. In this topic, we will discuss all about the Ijma. I will explain in more detail. Ijma can be defined in several meanings, namely, the opinion of the mujtahid scholars from among the Muslim at any time after the death of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. Imam Al-Ghazali defined that Ijma means the consensus of the people of the Muhammad SAW on a matter of religious matters. According to Imam Al-Tusi, the definition of Ijma is the agreement of the mujtahids at one time from among the ummah in matters of religion. Imam Al-Zarkashi also said that Ijma is the agreement of the mujtahids of the people of Muhammad SAW after his death on an incident on a matter from things in a time.
Based on the meaning of Ijma given, the pillars of Ijma can be divided into 4 aspects. Firstly, the law agreed upon by the mujtahid scholars where the scholars agree on Islamic law on a related issue. The second pillar that can be started is the assent of several members of the mujtahidin when a question occurs. Next, the third pillar of Ijma is all mujtahids agree on the law. Finally, pillar of Ijma is a firm mujtahid agreement, which means in terms of speech, practice, individual or group. Ijma takes place as a third source in the legal source. Despite that, there are some scholars out an opinion about denying law Ijma, such as some of scholars argue that denying Ijma is a unbelief as it is included in the categories of agreed argument because if it deflects. Other than that, some scholars such as Imam Al-Haramain said denying the law of Ijma is not unbelief because the argument of Ijma is zanni.
There are 2 types of Ijma. The first one is Al-Ijma al-Sarih or explicit consensus, or the second one is Al-Ijma al-Sukuti or implicit or tacit consensus. Ijma al-Sarih is an Ijma in which every mujtahid expresses his opinion either verbally or by action, such as written agreement by the mujtahids when certain issues discussed in an open forum such as conferences or council. According to the majority of the scholars, explicit Ijma is definitive and binding. It should be implemented and become part of Islamic law. The second Ijma is Al-Ijma al-Sukuti. It is when some of the mujtahidun of a particular time give an express opinion concerning an incident but the rest remain silent. Such ijma can also occur when a scholar publicizes his view on a particular issue and the other scholars remain silent, which, according to some scholars, indicate their agreement. This kind of ijma is acceptable and valid according to the Hanbali school of Islamic law. However, the Shafi'i and Hanafi refuse the validity of such ijma.
Today, I would like to talk about scholars who receive Ijma and who refuse Ijma. The argument of those who reject Ijma is the group that rejected Ijma was the Khawarij. Scholars receive Ijma Sukuti divided by 2 groups is Qat'i argument and Zanni argument. Then, scholars reject Ijma Sukuti consensus were Imam Malik and Imam Shafi'i. The silent if mujtahid may be because they are afraid of harm to themselves and their property.
Ijma arguments. Jumlah ulama usul fiqh argue that when the pillars or ijma has been fulfilled, then the ijma becomes a qat'i, definite, arguments. It must be practiced and cannot be denied. Even those who deny it are considered infidels. In addition, the problem that has been determined by the law through Ijma, according to the Usul Fiqh expert, can no longer be the discussion of scholars of the next generations, because the law established through Ijma is the law of Shara, which is Qat'i, and occupies the third order as a proof of Shara after the Al-Quran and Sunnah. There are several arguments of Ijma. Among them are, firstly, Dalil Al-Quran. The Quran explains that the Muslims are modest people and witness to others. The Quran states that it should follow the path of the believers. Next, Dalil Logic. Dalil Logic is explained to the Muslim to refer the Hadith, especially in matter related to the law and Sharia.
For Dalil Sunnah, there are al-Sunnah in various forms that understood by Muslim and Mujtahid scholars, and impossible to agree that on things are wrong. As the word of Prophet ﷺ narrated by Anas bin Malik, verify my people will not conspire in wrong things. As can be seen from above hadith, there is two important methods. Firstly, it is obligatory to follow congregation and practice it. Second, this ummah protected from error and error. Rasulullah ﷺ said again, whoever won the business of heaven, they should be with Jama'ah. Narrated by Al-Hakim. Argument showed that the Ijma is an argument to every age, whether it's happened in the time of friends, tabi'in, tabi'in, or after in their life. Therefore, they cannot say the authentic Ijma. The Ijma is only on their time in the company. This is because Ijma proposition is general in nature.
Next, makeup of Ijma. Most scholars agree that there is no Ijma without backup. This is because the Prophet has also made a decision based on the basis of revelation. If the Mujtahid do not issue laws based on backup, then they deliberately agree to commit the offense. The majority of scholars state that every time Ijma occurs, it should be based on the sources of Quran and Sunnah. The statement was acknowledged by Ibn Taymiyyah. There is no problem with Ijma on it except based on Al-Quran and Al-Sunnah. Next, the opinion of some scholars who say Ijma cannot also be without backup, such as the sale of such demonstration is an unsuitable allegation, because for the Shafi'i the law of sale is considered invalid. Therefore, which they support the law of Ijma is Qati, and the law before Ijma is Zani. Therefore, Ijma will not happen except based on Qati and Zani proportion. Next, what is Qati? Dalil Qati is a clear and specific text that have only one meaning and are not open to other meanings, or have only one interpretation and are not open to other interpretation. For example, it is illegal for a man to marry his grandmother and grandson.
Ijma' Zani means if the mustahil are silent, they do not openly express their understanding, but their silence is not because they are afraid, shy, or ashamed. Ijma' Zani can be used as argument and evidence in laws. The importance of Ijma' nowadays. The position of Ijma' is very important to all Muslims, especially students of knowledge, to know about Ijma' nowadays. A student should not venture into the knowledge of Khilaf in Fiqh if they has not yet mastered the problems of Ijma'. What's more, if it is still unclear about what Ijma' and its need are, at least get a small book that collects the consensus of scholars and read it continuously as many times as possible. Mastery of Ijma' problems will ensure that today's Muslims do not ensue a law that is wrong with Ijma'. It can also control for misunderstanding the text of the Quran and Sunnah. So the knowledge of Ijma' at least protect the Muslim from all of Salaf. As an example, Muslims nowadays wear a wig and tie hair, gather and make food at the house and the person who died because it includes lamenting the death of the deceased and else. That's why Ijma' nowadays is very important to control Muslims from doing the bad thing in Islam. In conclusion, a person who wants to position himself as a student of knowledge must understand the consensus and master the problems, especially in today's troubled world.
As a conclusion, Ijma is the third source of legislation that are agreed upon by scholars. Because there are propositions from Quran and Sunnah, Ijma will not happen if there is no agreement from Mujtahid. And the Ijma begin to use after the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's all from us. Thank you.